And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Terra Invicta in our resistance run. This is the fourth part of the first stream back from the break. I have had a thing going on with my nose, so I may sound a little bit weird in this part. Hopefully it'll be better by the next part, if you're watching on YouTube. This is going to be the last part I think I'm going to record for the night. I was hoping to maybe do 5. I think we're going to stick to 4, which does mean I'm going to have actually no spare slop, let's say, recording-wise, between this part and the next part. Which means if anything goes up that delays the next part being recorded, the next part will be late. So there may or may not be a part up tomorrow if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, I will, assuming the cold nose situation doesn't get worse, we will be streaming something different tomorrow. But let's get into the game, and we'll leave most of the announcements for what's going on streaming-wise for the end of this part. So we're going to continue from where we left off. We did just finish driving basically all the resistance out of Mercury. Technically, the Protectorate set up a Tier 1 hab after we took their Tier 1 orbital hab. After we took their Tier 2 in space. I think technically we blew up their Tier 2 in space. As you can see, we're a bit close on the mission control, so we need to stop grabbing more stuff in space while our mission control grows. And it is slated to grow. We've got 216 mission control in the process of being made. So we need to wait for it to build. I need to stop grabbing stuff. We need to wait for our stuff to build. On the other hand, that means we're mostly going to be focusing on Earth in this part. We're going to be trying to grow India. We're going to try to add Bangladesh to India. Maybe add Myanmar to India. Maybe look to get Turkmenistan into the Eurasian Union. We can see how quickly we can do the sort of spycraft stuff this part. EU is still struggling a little bit with stability, although it is definitely rapidly improving. We were having problems with keeping it at 5 before. It's with 2 people working on it. We're now getting it down to 3.4, so that's definitely an improvement. We're going to have you come and do a crackdown on not the legislator, the executive. You put in your 2 cents. You do
Applying
that
pressure
really
on the
easily.
people.
Standing by for orders.
You only have crackdowns, so
Reporting
you're not useful for what I want to do right now. I can probably send you on a stabilized mission in the EU. Yeah.
We'll make things safe.
Standing
you have
by.
purge. We can send you after the legislature.
Targeting the opposition.
At your service.
And you
Reporting
have purge, so we can send you after the executive. Like so. So if the crackdown works, that purge will work, and we'll have full control of Bangladesh. We'll just have to wait the 180-day cooldown to start bringing into India. Anger global, that would have been an early game. I am remembering that I should actually, spend the XP our counselors are collecting. So let's actually work from the top of the counselors here. So
Standing by.
Nippon first. So you've got 91. Should probably spend it on stuff. And it looks like, unless I'm going to be taking orgs off of you, it's science, science, or science. Although you could pick up famous. Although I don't really want you to lose espionage for detection purposes. Yeah, we might not pick up that. Maybe affluent. No, I think yeah, science, science, and science. For you. Oh, we got 10 left, so we may as well pick up the affluent as well. And of course, affluent upgrades into prosperous, which then I think has another upgrade. We're not going to go too quickly down that tree. 36 here. The advisor suffers from the fact the advisor doesn't get a lot of XP. They get like 1 every council cycle. And that should definitely be in command. Again, your science, unless I want to pick up something like Iron Hand. Iron Hand would... If Iron Hand was basically anything but oppression, I don't really use oppression. We'd probably do Iron Hand. Yeah, science, science, and science. This is one of the reasons I maybe wasn't interested in interacting with the advisors and their skills, because they were mostly capped. They're mostly capped in all the important ones. Do you want to save up for Puppet Master? Actually, I probably do want to save up for Puppet Master, so you probably actually just need a little more for what we're gonna have. Could grab Wealthy, which is the upgrade to Prosperous, right? So Prosperous goes into Wealthy, up goes, and maybe goes up one more after that. But we're probably going to investigate here. Investigate capped. And then do the science. I want the science more than I want the money. And then you probably want to investigate. We'll take Streetwise though. And there we go. That's all the counselor actions. All the counselor XP spent. Or waiting to be spent in the case of the one where I want, I think it was 80 for something. Bombardment ends because the aliens there have been completely annihilated. It's always good to see. Gotta reduce the quantity of aliens in South America.
Offering support.
Things are stabilizing. Order is returning. The control is vulnerable now.
Okay, so with that, we've gone ahead and cracked down everything in Bangladesh. Another core economic region. That'll make it easier to improve the GDPC in China. Or the China area. World War I ends. Repeat and continue. Okay, so this is Shaka. We do have enough food to feed everyone here. Do I want to upgrade? Yeah, I probably do want to upgrade because we probably do want to build tier 3 hams sometime in this system. Oh, but I'm actively building in those shipyards, so I should probably not, you know, upgrade the shipyard. So we'll wait a bit. Wait until the fleet's built. There we go. So there's some more mission control. Although we have an upcoming 10 cost from ships being built, so we should not immediately rush to fill that hole.
We are in control here.
Our people have taken
And there
control.
we go. We have full control of Bangladesh. Relations. And manage relations. Please improve relations with, like, everyone. I'm surprised you can't improve with the EU. But we'll start with what we can. Oh, because presumably you only just lowered it from the Eurasian Union. Okay, that's fair. So I have to control the executive, so I can take them out of the community, so I can then put them into the India community. Once they're in the Indian community, I think technically once I, it's 2 steps, so I gotta put them in the Indian community, which will be the Greater India group, and then that can then be unified to make Greater India, which at that point I think would basically be Greater India, except maybe Myanmar. Myanmar might be what Greater India. And yeah, in which case we'd probably be mostly done in the area. So we probably do want to stabilize Bangladesh. How's the stability levels we're looking? I'm not even going to check Japan. I know Japan's stable. That's the United States. The United States is getting a bit high. Although the United States should stay there. There's now 9. Yeah, 9 reduction from the 10.5. So 1.5 is the rest point on unrest. So it's set as a rest point. I don't need to worry about it going up anymore. We'd like it to be better, but it's good enough. And the way to make it better is to get the GDP up quicker. So yeah, looks like it's just Bangladesh we want to stabilize right now. Okay, so let's send one of you. I'm a little worried about the EU being a little unstable, so let's do a defend interest in the EU.
Protecting our interests.
Reporting in.
And then the other 2 will go begin stabilizing in Bangladesh, so Bangladesh hopefully doesn't get pulled out from underneath us.
We will turn down the heat.
Ready. We'll turn down the heat.
Yeah, let's go with that combo. That looks like a decent combo for me.
Offering counsel.
Securing our control.
You've arrived at Spartacus. Resupply at Spartacus. Okay, so this fleet could go around grabbing more stuff. I need to wait for a little bit more of our HAB stuff to build, otherwise we're not going to have the mission control to safely take all this stuff. I do have a lot, in theory, building at Mercury. Your 21st of September, so not this month, but next month, August, September, yeah. And we should have a bunch coming online there. Nope, and Romeo 890 has destroyed the guy that was attacking. So I should pick another one in South America. So it was 9, is now 8.
Things are cooling off.
Things are cooling off.
Violence is abating.
More stuff completing. Here's Global Empire, so that's more control point management. Also, more investment into government, which is nice. Those are all the bridges. Not really in a rush to do the bridge ones, I think. Go to the heat sinks. Already doing some energy stuff. Oh, strategic. Yeah, I should do strategic lumping. That'll be a pretty quick one. Here we go. Asia. And stuff merging into Japan. Trying to figure out what we want from down here. All the stuff I had delayed that maybe didn't need to delay, but I did delay. Okay. So unless I obsoleted something I didn't mean to obsolete at some point in there, I think we got the ones prioritized that we wanted. Yeah, I'll probably take some time when we're not actively streaming to check to make sure that the EU ones specifically have either been researched or that if we are missing the prerequisites for them, to grab the prerequisites for them. Okay, so the favorited stuff is the stuff I probably do want to focus on. One of the big things I picked up is a bunch, or favorited is a bunch of the stuff that improves the military build speed and such. Yeah, well, let's do the cheap tactical drones here. Cheap by this state of the game. So we can get the army and the military stuff improving quicker. Very early in the game we weren't investing in that. Now we are, so getting it to work a little bit faster is probably a good idea.
Orders. Securing our interests.
one thing I can do is I can definitely do a bunch more investing. So the question is, how do I want to invest? Yeah. For example, I could do environment. Do a big investment in environment. So you got 1.8, you got 2.1. So it'd either be investment in environment in India, which actually that doesn't look too bad. It's not. That's not as expensive as the economy is. It's a lot more influence heavy, but that's not too bad. Yeah, let's do a bunch of environment investing in India so I can get India going a little bit faster. Oh, that's all the influence I've got to invest. So let's invest that much. And that moves up 0.6 sustainability. So big sustainability change.
Offering assistance.
Making things safe for our people.
And the alien that we were bombarding has died. Time to pick a new one to put the little red dot on. Destructive testing. I'm not really worried about the debris, so we're just going to go for maximum science here. Which gets us tactical drones.
Violence is abating.
Things are
Okay,
stabilizing.
the rest is coming down
Things
quickly
are
in
cooling
Bangladesh.
off.
We're actually having a harder time trying to keep it down in the EU of the whole thing. Granted, I think there's probably one of the other factions is probably trying to inspire unrest in the EU. Ship launched. And it's got the achievement for getting a certain amount of combat acceleration. It was either combat acceleration or just acceleration in general. But yeah, these are the new V2s. These guys can technically, or the new colony ships, these can technically pull 4G in combat, so they can go fast. That is the first of 3 waves of those. Once they're all done, we'll either finish taking over what's left of... Well, I think we got some rangers to finish taking over what's left of Saturn. But once those guys are finished building in about a year's time, game time, we will head out for... What is it? Is that Uranus or Neptune next? US has deployed a new army, bringing it up to 3 armies. 9K to find fund subsidies. So you can see our mission control stuff came online, so we've got a lot more mission control now. We still have another 100-something coming online, but that is a start. And of course, as the stuff comes online, in particular the farms are helping to save volatiles, right? Because a lot of the stuff has a pretty high volatile cost when it's being built, because the farm isn't there to feed the people. Did I put up farming? Or are we short of farm? Yes, there is an agriculture complex here. We'll have to revisit if it's enough. In fact, based off the volatile cost, it'll probably be enough. So there might be something that has some flat volatiles, but looks like it'll be enough to cover everything that is at least coverable. So that's given us we now have the 101st Airborne again. We can assign them the unenviable task of hunting aliens. And we now have this group in Earth orbit. So we could go ahead and dominate a little bit more of Earth orbit. So there is stuff at Luna from the servants if we want to drive them out. We have Peter the Great Station, which is probably actually the one I should attack because it is in Leo from the Protectorate. It's also a fairly small station. And in theory, we're at the point in the game where the gloves are off with the other factions. So I could technically go after the Academy here and take over theirs as well. Although, they're not pro-alien enough to actually get in our way as far as the objectives are concerned. Yeah, we got Mercury, got Earth, got Mars. We are going to need to go out to acquire Ceres, Fort Vesta, and Pallas, which I believe are in the asteroid belt. I think those are the 3 biggest places in the asteroid belt. And then Saturn, we got some stuff we need to deal with. Uranus is actually probably the biggest place the aliens are at this point. And there's now 10 alien fleets. So I think they did some fleet mergers. We haven't necessarily been doing a particularly great job of shrinking the alien fleet size, because they've definitely gone a bit passive. They've been hunkering down in the outer system and not coming to fight us. But yeah, let's take Review a 941, and we're going after Peter the Great. I'm going to arrive there real quick. Oh, and then our councils are all assigned. Yes. Confirm and let some time pass. Engage. Start battle. We'll come in fast because there's one target on the base, which is going to promptly disappear as soon as all the weapons get in firing range. Siege Coil rounds fired. Of course, the hit scan that is the laser weapons will probably destroy the thing before the Siege Coil rounds actually hit it. Yeah, there they go. And there's the Siege Coil rounds, and there's the thing they're going to hit that's already been exploded. So the Peter the Great Station has nothing that just stops me from just saying, blow it up. In practice, the reason I did that is because I wanted it to be tier 3, and it's faster to build a tier 3, and then instead of faster to build a tier 3 than instead of trying to upgrade a tier 1 to tier 3. So yeah. I'm a little bit tempted to build it, although we don't necessarily... Actually, I was about to say, we don't necessarily have a lot of boost. I have a lot of boost. I got 66 monthly boost coming in, and what I'd be building it for costs 3 per module, so... And we'd probably build like 10 of those modules, so it'd be about 30 monthly boost? Yeah, 30 monthly boost. Which is probably worth building. So I should probably actually build one of those. So, ring, ideally an interface. We'll take the lowest empty interface. So, what I want to build here is basically working from the top, admin tower, agriculture complex, battle station. That's a start. I'm probably still going to try to fish for good events. So we're going to the military and the skunk works. Then 9 space hospitals. And then solar farms, and hopefully got enough power. I may have to run a fusion plant, we'll see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to run a fusion plant. Yeah, 1 fusion reactor farm to cover the deficit. There we go. And then that will provide us a lot of money, is basically the plan there. That's a money maker. That's going to use up about half our spare boost, but that's fine. That's kind of what the boost is for at this point in the game. In theory, we could do basically the same thing, but media centers, which technically that wouldn't cost boost, to get us more influence. I think we got enough influence for the moment. I'm not going to rush to grabbing the ones. In the meantime, we got money, but we don't really got a lot of influence, so let's do some priority direct investment. Let's do that. That's a lot of money being spent, and honestly probably isn't actually going to do very much to the GDP, right? That's only like 74 GDPC, but that's times 1.8 billion. Yeah. Okay, so objective-wise, we need to go get Resolute Fortress Base, Xiphos Crater, and Palos. 2 Palos. So that's kind of what your job is actually to do, is to go after those objectives. So that's dispatch. Heroes, Vesta, Ceres, 2 palace. Yeah, so it's those 3. So that base, that crater. There's actually a bunch of weak fleets here as well that should probably get dealt with, but we can get there pretty quickly. It's only going to take like 2.5 weeks. We burn the whole fuel tank. We probably don't want to burn the whole fuel tank, so we go a little bit slower. We'll do that much. Okay, so we've dealt with another one of the xenomegafauna on Earth with orbital bombardment.
Lending my expertise.
Securing our interests.
Order is returning.
Order is returning.
Gravitational wave. Isn't that neat occurrence? Oh, I don't have the mobile space science for that. The Romeo 909 does not have laser engine utility. Okay, and we're not the Academy, so we just get a neat occurrence. Damage detected the gravitational wave.
Order is returning. Things are stabilizing.
Nope, the one we were bombarding is now dead. There's now down to 4 of them there. So yeah, we're definitely starting to fight back the alien kaijus. Here, the command servants being lit in airlines. Okay. The enemies are planning. making sure our guys all roughly like each other. An ideal world. At some point I got Bulgaria. The one point in Bulgaria. I should probably put Bulgaria back into the EU. Let's be fair, I should probably put Bulgaria back into the EU. That, of course, takes, you know, some actions,
Standing
which
by.
is why it hasn't happened yet. Set national policy. We'll put this in the EU, and this will
Heading
probably
to the
be
capital.
to make a federation with Bulgaria. Okay, confirm assignments, let some time pass. I think this is going to be the council action where our ship's going to arrive. Or maybe, I forgot how slow I made it. I might have made it slow enough that it might actually be the next one.
Offering assistance.
Another ship joins us that we don't want. Can you even get to the closest station to disassemble yourself? Yes.
Things are cooling off.
Things are stabilizing.
Violence is abating.
You have arrived. I have a 0% chance to take the Resolute Fortress base by storm. I thought I had a decent number of Marines. Apparently, I have less Marines. Well, also the aliens are better at fighting than I'm thinking of, right? So, we got 2.1 Marines, and they got 4.3 defenders. Okay. We rolled enough ordnance that I can blow the base up from orbit if I needed to. Which might be actually what we're going to do. Let's high orbital bombardment the fortress here. And of course, the aliens did not appreciate that. We have a fight in our hands. We do have kinetics in this fleet, so we should come in fast. We'll see how well this fleet handles fighting peer enemies. Actually, before you guys do lock, turn lock off. No, not not that fast. Yeah, we'll do a little bit of a burn towards the enemy, and then we'll focus on getting ordnance downrange. I think is what we're gonna do. So okay. So you all got that guy as your target. You all focus on the gunship for the target. Okay, let's begin advancing. And here we just kind of show off just how fast these ships can be. Okay, complete that burn node. Let's lock noses. And at this point, we're going pretty fast. We'll just drift. Of course, the thing that hurts when you're going fast is just as much as your kinetics hurt, theirs also hurt. So I think our fleet's about to explode. To be fair, I think our fleet's about to explode. I think this may have been too aggressive of a maneuver. Yep, all the cannons on those are gone. So you basically only have 3 ships that are worth actually fighting with. And of course, we're running away from them so fast the siege coil rounds actually aren't firing because they wouldn't be able to catch them. Nope, we lost another one of them. They are apparently gaining on us. Yeah, I don't have the best of use experience apparently with these e-spoilers. Because I don't think this number of siege coilers would have penetrated the BD. And we didn't have enough point defense to handle the level of kinetics coming at us. Whether we were holding still or advancing rapidly like we were. It might actually be interesting to see. We were able to destroy our ship, right? I might actually do a quick load. Do a quick load. Let's see how that fight goes. We auto resolve. Let's see if the auto resolver does better at killing ships than I am. I think it does, at least with the kinetics, because I'm pretty bad at the kinetics. Struggle with load time. Okay, so here's the fight. I don't think this is a fight we're going to win. At least not if I'm manually controlling it. So I'm going to accept. I'm going to hit the auto-resolve. And see how the auto-resolve handles it. Okay, so it's probably better when I did it. We got a kill. I'm not going to be too worried about it. We're going to continue here. I wasn't going to get much better than that. Okay, so while those ships are definitely more maneuverable and can very much more rapidly go out to places in the asteroid belt like that, they don't have the ability to fight enemy fleets. Is basically what I've just figured out. And the aliens do have fleets in the asteroid belt, apparently. Maybe we don't have a lot in the asteroid belt, but they did have some there. So yeah, that's going to be an upcoming problem. It's because we're going to have to deal with that in the future. It probably just means we're going to build another Titan fleet and send Titan fleet to that location. That's, I suppose, one way to also just keep them out of that location permanently. No, that's not what I wanted. Minimize this for the moment. You and Bulgaria are not friends, are you? Here we go, we missed one. That explains it. So, not an option. So we're going to cancel for the moment. Space science is done again. So we got another mining mission control bonus. So that has raised our soft cap by 1. We were actually over our soft cap by a couple. So in theory, that's actually saved us some mission control. We can't immediately repeat on the same one. We'll probably do the counselors live longer. It's the next one. I had points in Brazil. So there might have been a coup fairly recently, and I do have unrest effects there from when the alienation was a thing. That's Caesar base coming online. I got a couple things I'm gonna need to finish, the command modules for command centers, for example. So yeah, we got another 110 mission control expected to come online at some point. And that is including this location. No, this isn't including the location's farm. Although the HAB's volatile water consumption reduction does not apply to modules under construction. So we're still paying that crew cost because it isn't complete. So we should be saving a lot more volatiles from crew when all the stuff we're building is done. Because, for example, all these command centers are 250 crew that we have to feed water and volatiles to until they're done and can then receive the bonus from the agricultural complex. So yeah, this is where we are at. Objective-wise, I think we're moving closer to objectives. We've got them off of Earth, we've got them out of Mercury. All the Earth regions, all of the orbital situation for Mercury, Earth, and Mars. We do have to get them out of the asteroid belt. We're working on Saturn. We got stuff being built to deal with Saturn. In fact, let's look at the stuff we've got going for Saturn very quickly. So, literally at the beginning of the next one, we're going to send out the Ranger class stuff. In hindsight, we probably don't have enough to do a ground assault on Titan, so I might have to build some more on Titan. We'll see that in the next one, the next part. Or I'll have to get some green lasers to bombard Titan. So we can go take a look at the Titan base. Titan base maybe might not be as defended as I'm thinking. Moons, Titan, one site, that site, 5,000 Marine. Oh no, wait, is the top of the Marines or the bottom of the Marines? I think the bottom is the Marines. I think it's 251 Marine. Where's the top one? The top one. Bottom one is the Marine. Top one is the combat power. So it's fairly dangerous. I think it's only like 251 for assault purposes. Although right now I have no Marines at all. So no one can do a Marine assault if there's no Marines. Yeah. We got some Marines being built. We can check how effective our Marines are. We're gonna get 2... no. Reload is up to that helps these again. 2 of these guys. Okay, so we're only gonna have 80 Marines. So we're not gonna have enough Marines. I'm gonna have to build more Marines. Whoopsie daisy. Or bring up green lasers, one of the two. So that's the other question. How quickly could we get... Do you even have the fuel? That's... no, you don't even have the fuel. So, yeah, we'd have to build them here. Okay, so we're going to have to build more stuff to deal with Titan. But we're working on Titan. So the big roadblocks that we're working on right now is working on... Well, we had just attempted and failed to get rid of them out of the asteroid belt. Asteroid belt actually wouldn't be too hard. I just have to build another Titan fleet up, and we can do it with a Titan fleet. Saturn, the big one there is actually Titan. Weird, but Titan's actually going to be the hard one to deal with. The other ones are going to be really easy to deal with once we've got the fleet ready for the jump to Uranus. We'll just bounce over to Obsidian Sword and Bellet and handle those quickly. Titan will be the one that'll actually hold out for a while. But yeah, then we got those two done, and then Uranus. Uranus actually looks potentially dangerous because there's a bunch of stuff in Uranus. And then it's Neptune, and then the Oort Cloud. And once we've got out in Neptune and the Oort Cloud, it's going to be figuring out how to chase down the remaining alien fleets. And then, yeah, Earth I think is going... Well, Earth is slow. Earth is slow. We've hit the slow point of the Earth game, but we are making progress. We're stabilizing the EU. EU needs a bunch of stabilizing. Eurasian Union is... For the Eurasian Union is doing good. India is starting to do better. Pan-Asian Combine is doing pretty good. Japan's sweet. And the United States is actually got up to the resting value on cohesion, so there's no, for realistic purposes, there's no unrest risk in the United States. We fixed the United States, finally. We'll see if it can stay that way. But if it can stay that way, the United States is fixed. And actually, the United States is fixed enough. I don't think we want that unity. So we're gonna take that unity off. And then where do I want to invest that unity? Honestly, I might stop investing in space defenses. Environment... no, we'll do mission control. I need more mission control. Well, actually, I don't need more mission control because we're building tons of it in space, but... Mission control. The planetary mission control is pretty cheap. Upkeep-wise. Planetary-wise, as far as global warming, we are actually starting to reach the point where we are fixing global warming. Atmospheric methane's back down to safe levels. Atmospheric carbon dioxide is a little better than it was a year ago. Atmospheric nitrous oxide is where it was a year ago. So the situation is improving. It hasn't improved very much, but in comparison to where we were at the beginning of the stream, where it was about where we started, this is an improvement. It is getting better. It's not getting worse, which is... That is an improvement of itself when it comes to global warming, I suppose. And yeah, the aliens... I suppose we can actually look at the fleet power, right? So we know they've got like 10 fleets that are bigger. Or 10 fleets that are big enough that we have to destroy them. We got a total fleet power of just under, even after that defeat, just under 18,000. The aliens, on the other hand, are rocking, so we come at the end of the stream, just under 74,000. So they're about 4 to 5 times bigger than us in theory. Although our fleets frequently punch above their weight. They're frequently punching, except for the one we just lost, because that was more of an experimental sort of bombardment light one. But our big Titan fleets, they frequently punch like 3 times their combat value. So yeah, if we imagine that we can punch 3 times their combat value, 4 times their combat value, we're still a little bit weaker than the aliens. But they've got to defend everything. And arguably that's why we're not expanding as quickly as we maybe could, is because we have to defend everything, right? We are defending everything, which is why we're not losing anything. but at the same time, we're not really getting things particularly fast because of that. And that's the state of the game. This is where I'm going to go ahead and roughly go ahead and put the part break in. So there's not going to be any more Terra Invicta tonight. If you're watching on YouTube, the announcement for the schedule that I'm going to be bringing up over the next couple of moments here as I do the outro to the stream are going to be the stuff that in theory has been recorded over the last couple of days, because this is the fourth part in the stream, and the schedule that I'm about to explain is the next 3 parts in the cycle. So assuming everything goes according to plan, I know I said this earlier in the announcement, which the announcement video I put up. So if you're watching on the Twitch stream, that should be available because I did stream it live as I was recording it. If you're watching on YouTube, it should be available as well. Although I might private that one when it gets out of date in like 14 days. So as I said in the announcement stream, today was Terra Invicta. We just finished Terra Invicta. Tomorrow will be probably Farthest Frontier. So tomorrow is when 1.0 is supposed to come out. Assuming it does come out, that's what we'll be playing tomorrow. We'll do Farthest Frontier in 1.0. See how the tech tree plays. Maybe not play as long. We'll play one full stream of it at least. We'll see where we are at the end of that stream. And see how the tech tree changes things up. I think that's the really big change in 1.0. The day after that, which should be my Friday. If you're watching on YouTube, this will probably still be in your past. We'll be playing Free Call, which is the open source version, sort of remake of Sid Meier's Free Colon or Sid Meier's Colonization. I'm trying to slide words in there that don't go there. Sid Meier's Colonization, sort of the OG one. That was as a project sort of remade in an open source engine. So that's a free game you can go onto the internet and download. That's what I'm going to be playing on my Friday. We're going to probably play 2 streams of that, whether that's one game, we're going to play one game all the way through at least. So whether that's 2 streams or more, or multiple games if I'm going really fast. I haven't really figured that out yet. We'll see how quickly I can play Free Colonization, which is basically colonization of the game. That's going to be Friday. Then Saturday is going to be Endless Legends. I'm either going to play the Cult or the Bug Nation, and sort of play a more aggressive centric style. Last time we did a very commerce heavy style. This time we'll do a little bit more conquest style in Endless Legends. And then the day after that, which is Sunday, right now on the Twitch schedule, I have it set to be determined. That will actually be the continuation of Terra Invicta from this stream. We'll continue where we left off. And hopefully continue to move forward. So at this point, we are definitely making progress. The progress is slow and gradual. Tech-wise, we've basically started on the last really expensive tech, which is the Proteum Converter Torch. At which point, we've got everything we need to make our ships do what they need to do. It's just the process of getting them to do it. And take over the world. We don't actually, as the Resistance, we don't need to take over the world. We just keep the aliens off of it. So, really, we're fighting the aliens. We're going out, we're fighting the aliens. We're at the point where that's just a matter of process, I think. And it's just how quickly that process goes. And if you're more skilled at the game than I am, you can probably do that faster than I'm going to do it. But I'm going to do it, I'm going to complete it, I'm going to win and complete an actual run of Terra Invicta. I think that's where we're going. So with that, I hope everyone has been enjoying. If you're watching on Twitch, this is probably your last chance to get into comments responding to during this stream. I will leave the stream up for a minute or two after I end the recording for YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to leave comments. I do respond, or at least try to respond to all the comments I get on the YouTube channel. And not on the videos on the YouTube channel. Assuming they're something that I can respond to. So if you're asking a question, I can respond to that. If you're just saying cheer or whatever, I still try to sometimes respond to those, but sometimes I'm a little bit questioning how I respond to those. And I've responded to most of the stuff at this point. So if you got something, especially if you got anything questions, I can always open up the game. I do keep most of the saves when I make them. So if there's a specific thing you want me to go look at, I can do little shorts of me going looking at those things as well. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wish everyone the best of luck, a good time. Catch you all in the next part. And bye for now.